Well, we arrived in North Carolina, as you can see, and it's a pretty big state, and this time we don't have a landlocked state, so it's nice to have like an opening to the ocean on the East Coast. So, first of all, some numbers. United States of America, North Carolina. What I'm interested in is the population at first, and population is around 11 million people, as you can see, and they have an even neutral increase. Median household income, again, this nonsense, $70,000 in 2023, so by now probably it's gonna be around $80,000. And look at this, it's still one of those poorest states in bottom half, let's call it like that, on 35th place, which is not exactly that great, but it starts to mean less and less, because when you look at the map, you're gonna see, like the other states, they're looking pretty good. So we're gonna see how this goes. Lowest elevation, obviously 0 meters, because it's not a landlocked country. They have an opening to the ocean. Highest elevation that they have, it's around 2,000 meters, and average around 210 meters, so it's pretty good. They have an official language, which is English here. 90% of the population speak English. 7% around speak Spanish for whatever reason, and others around 2.7% other languages. Well, I'm interested in see how those people actually do, so we're gonna look at that in a second, and how those live there. They have some interesting pictures here from the good old days, let's call it like that, when they have like, look at this, they have even colors here for you, especially a phantom just for the colors. Wow. When they have this interesting colonial architecture, I would say probably gonna see a few even today in these street views, but yeah, that's a really long time ago, so it didn't exactly translate one at one, but we're gonna see some influence. Nice wildlife here, nice environment also. It's pretty nice state we're gonna see, and temperature also kind of fluctuate, so it's not exactly like a 4 season, which is pretty good. Historic population, they reach 1 million people in 1870 and 10 million in 2020. That tells you something about the population, how fast they're growing, but yeah. Race, oh, I like those. Let's see those. So whites around, they say look for a total of 63%, African Americans 21%, Hispanic 10%, Asian 4%, Native Americans 2.5%, Pacific Islanders, again, no idea what those guys doing here, 0.7.2%, and others 1.1%. I want to see from from years. Let's check this one. So whites in 2000. Let's go with this one. Okay. Percentage, 70% of the population were whites in 2000, and now they are 60%, so they decreased 10%. Black Americans, black Afro-Americans, whatever you want to call it, from 2000 in 21% to 2020 in 20%, so even they go down. Native Americans from 1.2% to 0.1, this is 0.9%, 0.1% almost, so even they go down. Asian alone, for whatever reason, from 1.4% to 3.3%, which is insane how fast they're growing. Pacific Islanders, they're the only group so far that they actually have an increase in population. Pacific Islanders from 0.04 to 0.07, even they double. Other race from 0.11% to 0.44%, 4 times as much. Mixed race from almost 1% to 3.9%, so again in a 4x increase. And Hispanic and Latinos, look at this, for 4.7% to 10.7%. Wow, more than double, absolutely insane. So the only groups that they're going down in population are the whites, the blacks, the natives, and the rest of them, they kind of increase their population quite a lot. So yeah, doesn't look good for North Carolina, but we're gonna see. Yeah, the most common language besides English is gonna be Spanish, French, German, Chinese, Vietnamese, Arabic, Korean, Tagalog. I have no idea what the fuck that even is. From something for Philippines, from what I can see. Hindi, Gujarati, Russia, what the fuck is going on? I don't know. Italian and Japanese, why the fuck they go out? Because they are Thais. That's why. And Cherokee. We have some Native Americans. That's pretty nice. By religion, yeah, Protestants 35%, unaffiliated again 20%, pretty huge. Protestants again 19%, and Protestants again 12%, Catholics 9%, and of course they have to mention the Jews 1%. They kind of, you can see that it doesn't matter where they go. They want to put those Jews on the map, no matter what. Even they're like 0.0. No, they have to put them there. Clearly some sort of conspiracy, obviously. Some nice fare that they have here, I would say. Not so bad, but they have those gay flags here. What is going on here? Barcane Festival. I'm not sure about those gay flags. The military here that they have, the station. Probably some interesting culture there. Tourism, wow, that's like chateau here. It's pretty good. Looks very nice, and the lighthouse also pretty nice. They have nice railway systems from what I can see. Ooh, this one I like it better. I mean, I get it, those are modern ones, but this one way better looking. I will give up a bit of efficiency to have that nice model than the new efficient one. Let's say it will be a bit more efficient. That's a nice castle, chateau, whatever that is. Government and politics, how I like that. Look at this. Republicans, 30%. And Democratic, 30%. So, okay, it's a swing state here almost. Minority party, 0. That doesn't even count. Unaffiliated, 39%, 40% almost. So they're the most of them actually, but they're unaffiliated. So I guess it doesn't matter that much here. Interesting. Democrat is probably, yeah, the same old story. Like in those are major populated city areas, and the countryside it's more red. Everybody knows that by now. Sports here, nice stadiums. Again, there are like 11 million people here, so they have a lot to fill those places. But yeah, let's see how those people actually live. This is the main event. This is how you actually see how well they're doing or how bad they're doing. I want to start here in this small town. And I'm gonna start on this street right there, everybody. Let's see how they doing. Pretty tough here. North Carolina, the first impression. Well, this is what, May 2016, so quite a while back. Oh, we have a 2025 here. Let's check this once. Okay, they paved the roads, looking a bit better. Houses, actually, it's not that bad. You see how nice it is if you have a good day when you make those street views comparing with a bad day. Doesn't improve that much. See, it's not that great. But even though, so the camera in the 2016 wasn't that good as they have today. So, but still looking pretty good. Still pretty good, actually. You know what? It's a nice small community here. What I don't like it is like houses a bit too close to each other. Not exactly a big fan. Those cables here looks absolutely precious. The road is pretty good. This house, I think it's an abandoned house. Doesn't seem to be that well taken care of. But everything else, the road's looking pretty nice. Not so bad so far, I would say. And keep in mind, this is a small town, so I'm not sure exactly what are the economic opportunities there, but it can't be that great when you see not that many people in those places. This is nice on the lake, on the river. What is this? A lake or river? Like more like a lake, looking pretty good. We have even some 360s here. Let's check those in the forest. Wow, they have a parking lot right here. I bet they're gonna put you to pay. No parking, but it's a parking lot. What do I mean no parking? Makes no sense whatsoever. They have some electricity here. Yeah, overall it's pretty good, but probably you have to pay for that. So that's the only thing that I kind of don't like that much about the Americans. They kind of they kind of want you to pay for everything. If they could put a tax on breeding, they will put that too. So that's the only thing that I kind of don't agree with them in that part, because they have a lot of money and they waste a lot of money on other things, and those that actually should be important, like parks, should be free. I get it, they need money to maintain them, but also they waste a lot of money on other things that they can be used for actually maintaining those parks and have a free entrance. That would be much better. But hey, that's just me. What else can we find here? Oh, look at this guy. I have a house here on the hill. Unfortunately, we don't have a street view there, but at least we have a 360 here. And we have a dog here. Kind of a weird shape of the dog, but it's a dog nevertheless. The house is pretty nice here. I mean, look at this, in the middle of nowhere. Have a lot of peace, a lot of quiet. That's pretty good place to live, I would say, right there. Doesn't look so bad. And they have the highway behind their house, which is very convenient, I would say. And judging by those tree line, I don't think they have that much sound problem there. And those guys are doing even better. They have a pool, a nice houses here. They're doing pretty well. Some of them, they're doing very well, I have to say. They're doing very, very well. Let's see this one. I don't think it's a city. It's just more like a big town. And let's see how they're doing. Clearly a low income area just from the start. I can see that. Look at those houses, so very small houses, very small land, expensive cars. So you get, it's a low income area when you have crappy houses but expensive cars. Not that much land, not that much trees there, so it doesn't look that appealing, in my opinion. It's not exactly a great area to live. I can understand why people, someone if he's born in here, they just kind of look out for the bigger state or at least the bigger cities to move in. Kind of makes sense because in these low, how would I say, those low income areas, you kind of don't see the potential in the medium run, let's call it like that. In the medium term. In the short term, yeah, in the long term, it's a different case. Short term doesn't even bother. Long term could be anything. So even with that, they don't bother. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. Those, look at how nice they make those parts. And when you go in the residential area, not so great. So North Carolina so far, not exactly a paradise, but we keep looking. I mean, look at those ones. Let's see them. It's the main road here, and they have some houses each and there. They have land, which is good. That's a really good start when they have these big lands. And this one actually looks pretty decent. It's a small house, again, a low income, but you can see the difference. Wow, that's kind of crazy how big of the difference when you actually see it from the low income areas to high income areas. It's absolutely insane. You see that pretty much with your naked eye that close to each other. And yeah, anything like this, not, I mean, there's a lot of money differences as well, but it shouldn't be that much differences because I don't think they are like extremely impoverished. They don't think like they're living on $10,000 a year here. But also the difference between, let's say, those guys makes like 30,000 a year and someone that make 100,000 a year, it's a huge difference how they live. And even here, see, it's a low income. Fine, they have a 20 speed limit, which is bad, but they don't have that many trees here. They don't have. They clearly have a car. I would say that way. This driveway kind of looks like. The problem is the land. See, when you don't have that much land and you have like cramp everyone together, it's not exactly very appealing to start improving your land. Let's say your house. But also it's not as huge either. So yeah, wow, look how many cars they have here. What the fuck? It can't be just from one family or one house. 100%. It's gonna be more here. But wow, this guy has a train. What the fuck? I mean, like, it's a car train because it has wheels. I don't know, but it's kind of weird. They have a lot of crap here, that's for sure, in those yards. And see what's happened. It's the same story in Europe when you're jamming everyone together in a small place. Oh, we have a bunny. This is Easter, by the way. We have a bunny driving in a Ford Model T, I think it is. I don't know, but it's definitely something for sure. Yeah, this is what's happened when you're jamming everyone together. At some point, people just give up and they don't want to improve that much their land. But look at the cars that they have. Those cars are expensive, but the house not so much. Yeah, doesn't look great at all, I have to say. Kind of give me some West Virginia vibes so far in this part of the North Carolina. I'm sure we're gonna see some good areas too pretty soon, but again, we have to see the good and the bad, not just the good. That's a really nice house, as you can see. They build those ugly garage right in front of the house, which is fucked up, but they have a bit more land, as you can see, and already looks better than we see so far. Look at the garden, looks better. See, when they have a bit of more land, you want to take care of that instinctively. So it's gonna look immediately better than other areas that they don't have that much land there. So that's what we've seen so far. Wow, we see some golf course here. So I'm assuming by those streets, this is gonna be like one of those rich areas. But let's see it. Wow, very a lot of privacy. Let's call it like that. And that they have here, which is pretty good. I mean, don't see that many houses from the street, which is nice. But damn, they are actually hidden pretty well. They are, I mean, like, I don't want to can't even go there like that. Let's go here to actually see something on the top. Okay, that's better. Yeah, clearly, maybe a medium to high income area. I mean, look at this. It's a nice house, nice driveway, nice road too. Huge difference. There should be like tags. What is the household income in this area and how was in the poorer area? And if they can make better decision with their money to improve. I mean, at some point, yeah, you could do a bit better decision, but still the money is the main stopping factor, let's call it like that. 20 miles an hour here, no, that's at least 35 here, at least 35. And look at those cars, they are expensive also, and this is what, August 2025. Very recently they came here and they're looking pretty good, I have to say. Oh, look at this house. That's nice. Yeah, clearly a way different area than we've seen so far. So we start seeing those high income ones. Ooh, I'm interesting how much money those guys make here comparing with the others, because it's the same state, it's not that much difference between them. They have a golf course here, so obviously they're gonna do better in this area. And let's check on the other side of the course how they're doing. This is clearly a medium. They have some garbage here, maybe it's a garbage day, I don't know. It's the medium income area, but they're looking very nice indeed. Here though, it's not that bad. They have those cables, so clearly much more older neighborhood. Houses a bit modest, but look at those trucks here, buddy, that they have. This is where the money goes. But yeah, they're looking much better than we see them in the low income area. There's clearly a medium one, medium to high maybe, I don't know. But it does look way, they have basketball courts and a tennis courts, wow. Genuinely, oh, look at this one. That's a nice tree here, and look at this house, pretty good. Pretty good, buddy. And we see someone walking, wow, finally. We see people on the street. Yeah, much better area, much better than we seen so far. Like I said, we're always gonna find those areas no matter what, so follow the tree line, I guess, at some point. And let's check these guys here. Still very private on those hills. This is February. Yeah, it's a high income here too so far. 25 miles an hour. What the fuck? It's supposed to be like again 35, 40 even here. At least. It didn't go that well there. Oh man, they have a really nice privacy here. I mean, I can't even find the houses for God's sake. I mean, it's like a military base at some point. Is that well hidden for God's sake? Oh, look at this guy here, how big it is, the house. And I have to go in 3D mode, for God's sake. This one doesn't even working. Oh, let's check those guys here. Yeah, a lot of privacy. I like that. I like it. And the road looks pretty nice. The houses from this angle looks pretty nice. The front yards looks very nice. They're doing very well here. Again, I'm not sure exactly what those people are doing for money and how much income they have, but it's clearly a huge difference between those that they have and those that they don't, buddy. They don't. Let's check those guys here. Still pretty good. I like the road level with the land right there, looking pretty nice. Yeah, they're doing pretty good even here. So they have a lot of areas that they're doing pretty well, but also some areas that they're not exactly so good. So in this west half, I would say, not exactly very appealing to live in there. Oh, look, I have an airport here, a huge one. Let's see those guys here, how they live. It's more like an industrial area, I would say, or business area, whatever you want to call it here. Interesting more in those residential area, which you can find it very close to airport, which is kind of interesting. Let's check those guys. A new neighborhood here, or fairly new, I would say. Ooh, I like those houses. Nice. And I don't know what that 0.0 means, but it's gotta be something. Yeah, it's clearly a medium income area because we can see nice houses, but not that much land between them, and the cars feels like a medium income house cars. Yeah, overall looking pretty nice, and you can see this is April 2022, and they're doing pretty well. Doing pretty well. Not that many trees, like I said, it's a new neighborhood built, so probably like in the last 25, 30 years, and even those trees didn't have the time to grow that much, but they will with time. Wow, a lot of cars here, and they have a Volkswagen bus. That's nice. Yeah, it's a pretty decent area, I have to say. And I like, again, I like how the Americans spread around, still with individual houses. That improves a lot everyone life, and not jamming in the small apartments like they do it in Europe, and like how they're trying to do it in California now, because they say, oh, it's the housing crisis. No, it's man-made. It's human-made housing crisis. Has nothing to do with lords of the nature. Let's call it like that. It just, hey, look at someone walking with a dog. It's human-made. Wow, that's a really nice neighborhood. I mean, look at this. There's trees on this side. If they have the same on this one, it's gonna look even better. Houses pretty nice. Nice front yards. Probably even bigger in the back. I will hope. Wow, look at this. See when they have it on both sides, how nice it looks. Way better. Way better. Looks pretty nice. I mean, growing up on a street like this, I have to say, it's not that much you can complain. Maybe the speed limit is too low. Like, it's supposed to be like a 45 here. But other than that, it's not much you can complain, I have to say. That was looking pretty nice. And you can see all those. I mean, they say the Americans don't build that much lately, but it seems like they build awful a lot. And especially with how much legislation they have right now in bureaucracy, it's kind of a miracle in the same time. Can you imagine if they slash those bureaucracy, how well they're gonna do? Look at this. This is 2008 and compared with 2023. Nice. Nice. So yeah, I mean, in the way, if you look at it to this lens, they're actually doing pretty well. If they will secure the border better and deport like everyone who came here in the last 30 years, especially the illegals and uh, the convicts, let's call it like that, you're gonna get a hit massive price in the housing market, lowering them, and then slice the bureaucracy and let everyone building their own house, not waiting for the construction, that actually learn how to build it. Another one that's paying them to walking their dogs. If they do that, oof, the price is gonna be absolutely insanely low, and you put an end to this nonsense of housing crisis. But they're not gonna do that. They have too much interest in the market. They have too many properties. They have too much debt on that properties, and they're not gonna allow it. There's just no way. But if you can find a nice land for cheap, and you learn how to do most of your things in your house, and you negotiate a good price with the construction, that they can do those things that they don't allow you to do by yourself, because that's the problem. You maybe can score a decent deal for yourself. But yeah, buying a house like this also is not exactly highly recommended. I don't recommend anyone to buy a house. You should build your own house exactly how you want it, and brand new, and make sure it's gonna use good materials and good installation and everything, so it can last a really long time. But again, legislation, bureaucracy, and all those high expensive material that they're not supposed to be like that, but because of bureaucracy it is. Yeah, that's the main problem that we have. We're gonna see how they fix that in US. I mean, they have another few years of Republican Trump in office, and if they have then another 4 years from the Republican, maybe they have a shot. If they have a Democrat, yeah, all that it's shattered immediately. So they go back to square zero, and it's sad, but it is what it is. What else can we find here? Ooh, what are those? Reform the electricity, I don't know. Speed limit 25, fuck off. That's at least a 40 there. At least a 40, if not even 45. Yeah, in this neighborhood looking pretty good, I have to say. And I have some support here for some, I don't know, local parties, local guys. they're doing nice here. I mean, like in this neighborhood, as you can see, a lot of people seems to do pretty well here. I mean, they're not exactly like 2-3 houses here. There are a lot of them that actually a lot of people living in those nice neighborhoods, in those nice houses. But also we see a lot of that they don't do that well. And let's check those guys here. Ooh, those guys are doing very well. I mean, I can see from the satellite, those are huge houses. Yeah, they're doing well even here. Look at the, ooh, shit. Problems that they have, because they seem that you don't have cables. That's pretty nice. But not that many trees, so that should be the main concern here. Ooh, look at this in the summer, how nice it looks. But you still need more than that to make it look like very welcoming. I mean, look at this, how empty this land looks like. It's just no privacy, no. Can you imagine like a small forest here? Wow, that would be like much better. Here they have something of that. It looks much better. You can see from the start, but they need more than that. But it's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good for those North Carolina people. Ooh, they have even a lake part here. I mean, those lake houses not gonna be cheap, and you can see the privacy that they build. They grow their privacy, and they're doing pretty well. Yeah, they're doing pretty well here. Again, I'll be very interesting what those people do for money and how much they actually earn every year. That they afford to live in nice places like this, because everyone ideally would be nice to live in a place like that. You don't have to jam everyone in the same place, obviously. They just, you have the land, it's United States for God's sake, but the population again still growing, and pretty soon they're gonna remain without that land. Hypothetically speaking, they still have a lot of land, obviously. But that just gonna slows down the process to move everyone in a nice house in a nice neighborhood, in my opinion. So yeah, the technology that we have cannot keep up with the, we say the whole technology advanced so fast, yeah, but it cannot keep up with the, especially even production and human greed also, with the that fast increase in population. So we should put a break on that, in my opinion, but we will see that. I mean, in the Western world, they already see that. It's just, if they didn't accept that much migration to the corruption of the government, by now we should already fix energy crisis and job markets and any crisis that you can think of in the economic sector. But yeah, we have to wait another 25 years for that, so yes, it is what it is. What else can we find here? I mean, like, look at this. They have a lot of streets. I mean, how they maintain so many streets and they still looking very well. I mean, look at this. Let's check this one. Look how nice it is. And they still say that the infrastructure is crumbling. I don't see it. I mean, like, how many streets they have, and they have to maintain those, by the way. Yeah, they're not that much, let's say, use when you have like a lower population in those areas, but you still have to build them and maintain it on some level. And it's crazy how good they look. This house not so great, and this is clearly a low income area, but not that low, I would say, either. So this, in the summer they're looking pretty nice. They have like a safe house here that they keep blurring. I'm not sure exactly what is that crap here, and this garbage here doesn't look that well at all. I get it's a garbage day, but you don't need to have that much garbage in your front yard, for God's sake. I'm not sure exactly what's happening here. But doesn't look so well. What the fuck, they keep blurring this? What is going on there? I don't know, they just keep blurring that part for whatever reason. Probably have a camera problem. Some houses decently nice, I have to say. Those cables not so much, but the house is pretty good. But yeah, clearly a low income area. It's just not that appealing to live here, and you can see them, they have small lands, they're jamming everyone together here. Cannot end that well. And hoping like one day it's gonna move out and you're gonna have like a huge price on your house so you can actually afford to build somewhere else. Not exactly a good exit strategy in my opinion, because you're gonna drive the prices up for everything. You should advocate for lower prices on anything and high income pretty much on everything. Not so long ago in the West would be like a pretty simply technique, I would say, of economic, that anything that you can buy, goods, is gonna be cheap, but services that you require is gonna be expensive. Now, it's exactly the opposite way. Everything, if you work, you're gonna get paid less. But if you wanna buy, you're gonna buy more or buy more expensive, pay more, which doesn't exactly add up. But that's kind of the pandemic economics that we have when they have that scarcity, and then we have like a huge influx in migration, and now they have like cheap labor and expensive goods. And back in the day, it's supposed to be exactly the opposite: cheap goods and expenses labor. You can actually do work, make a lot of money, and buy cheap stuff relatively to each other, obviously. And the economy is still working now, when it's exactly the opposite. Everyone has problems because they inverse that in the worst way possible. So yeah, probably in the future, usually those things appears, in my opinion, when they are the last cycle of the thing. So probably from now on, we're gonna see like cheap energy forever, and cheap goods, and the labor market. We kind of hope, let's say, for more, at least me, for more automation, because let's face it, people don't like to work, and it would be much better, if you just pay people to stay out of the job market in a way, because you can fill those positions that in the production, you don't have a problem then. It's not like you're gonna have, oh, who's gonna work to make those? You have automation. That's what is good, and people already doesn't do exactly a good job in the factories. They don't like it, they hate it, and just better to pay up and have, let's say, a different hobby. If you wanna become a garden, if you wanna get photography, if you wanna make music, whatever, at least you have your income every month that you're gonna do very well. That's how I see in the future, but we will see. Even that comes with a lot of challenges, but it feels like that's how it works in a human world in a way. It's like we're looking for jobs to make more money, to have that, but you can find the jobs, and then in the future it's gonna be like the government is gonna pay you just to stay away from the jobs market, because there's not that many left, and those that have pretty interesting jobs, they're already taken, because people are not gonna give up on those, and it's better to just figure it out the life for yourself, and they're gonna give like an income, cheap electricity, cheap energy, pretty much no taxes whatsoever on the things that at least you own, and from that we will see the next generation of living, how they're gonna look. That's a really nice house, but those are expensive cars. This is a Lexus, which is expensive. This is a Mazda, which is expensive. This is one of those Vietnamese cars, I think, I'm not mistaken. Weirdly enough to see them here in the United States, but maybe I'm wrong, but feels like one of those Vietnamese one, and a Toyota, which is also pretty expensive. So they're doing pretty well financially even this year. Pacifica right there. Houses look pretty nice. The road, yeah, it's still no holes or anything like that, but yeah, it could look better. They have no idea what the fuck is going on in here. Probably some sort of construction site here. I don't know, but doesn't look that interesting to me. Clearly a medium by the houses in the street income area, but by the cars, pretty high up, in my opinion. They're looking pretty good. I mean, like, if this is the worst that they can offer, I'm gonna be honest, it looks pretty decent. It does look pretty decent. If this is the worst, it does look pretty decent. Yeah, of course, we like to see them doing much better than that, but what you can do. In some areas, when I see those streets a bit wider and more, let's say, densely green, you can already see that they're doing better. So the metrics for this one, wow, that's a lot of crap here. What the fuck is going on? They should clean up their house more often. When you see land, a big land between the houses and more green, yeah, that usually means that's a rich area, or at least some people that they're doing very well. It cannot be that because by the house, it's not gonna be like extremely rich area or whatever. But when you see them like this and new neighborhoods that they build like that with not that much space between the houses itself, yeah, it could be pretty big. I mean, like, we can looking from the outside, you can say, that's pretty narrow. It's just 1, 2 story, 2 level stories. But you can have like 200 square meters, which is pretty huge. I'm not sure exactly in the square feet what they have, like I don't know, like 1,000, whatever, 2,000 square feet, but it's pretty huge. And especially like the Americans, they used to have this policy back in the days when the kids leave the house when they turn 18, 21, something like that, and they can afford a house and get married by the age of 25. Those days are gone, by the way. So I guess they stay more with the parents now, so they kind of need bigger houses. But from the good old-fashioned style, at 200 square meters for 2 adults, because let's face it, the kid is not gonna take that much space when they are young. They have a room and they want to stay there, and then they just go outside. And you have like active kids, active lifestyle kids. If they have a garage for storing their craps, that's good enough. So 200 square meters house, it is more than enough for any family with 2 kids, I would say. And this one seems to be, I mean, like every single American houses seems to be bigger than that, and that's pretty good. Overall, yeah, they're doing very well here. I mean, look at this nice street, a lot of privacy. I like that a lot. Nice houses, a lot of trees. Again, really like it. And wow, look at this house, how nice it is. I mean, the part of the garage that just, I mean, look at this. You have this space here. Just make something that you're gonna put a car under a shade. And although you have this shade here, but be good for preventing a hailstorm. And modify this one like an extended living or something like that. It's gonna look way better in my opinion. Look at this, much better. These guys, they're doing even better here, man. Look at those guys. Wow, I don't know how many people living in this house, but it's way too many cars here. It's way too many cars here. And I calculated like for the 4 people living in a place like that, but they have an electric car here. And it seems to have pretty decent lands. I don't think they are that small. They're doing well. They're doing very well indeed here. And it's nice. I mean, can you imagine growing up in a on a street like that, in a neighborhood like that? Not so bad. Not so bad at all. They're doing pretty well. I mean, I like to stay in those nice neighborhoods for obvious reasons. But in a way, I wish like every neighborhood should be look like something like this. I mean, does look nice when you have that much land, that much space to do whatever you want. Because even with time, you want to change a few things, especially after the parents die, and one of their kids wants to move here, which is pretty good. Should never sell those houses, especially if they're nice one. They grow up. One of those kids should live there, and looking pretty nice. And you can modify it as much. I mean, some people, like I say, but again, it's choices. Let's say you are like a 3rd or 4th generation of people living in that house, and the house is more than 100 years old and it starts to fall apart. Yeah, you demolish completely and rebuild it, another one from scratch. But people kind of see that as lost opportunities, because they see like houses as an investment, and they prefer to sell that house with the land and build in someone else's place because they have more money like that. That's why I think it's wrong. If you're living in a place like that, if you enjoy it, obviously, hopefully you do, because it's a nice, good area. With time, especially when you get older, you kind of change a bit your preference, and you kind of look for a nice, quiet place to spend the rest of your days. That is a military vehicle for the second, this one. So yeah, have the option that keeping the land, obviously, not sell it for the value, and just rebuilding a house from scratch for cheap. That would be extremely important. And pretty much living in a brand new house and build it how you wanna live. That would be like a tremendous amount of advantages, in my opinion, than just trying to sell it for the highest price possible and then try to move in another area that you probably, I don't know, think like you enjoy it more, and then try to negotiate the lowest price possible on the other house that you wanna build, or wanna buy or build on the land. So yeah, it feels like we kind of screw ourselves in a way, because you wanted to sell your house for the highest possible money, and then you want to buy for lowest possible money, and everyone tries to do the same, and anyone's kind of caught in this roller coaster, in my opinion. It's just prices go up, and up, and when you're supposed to do exactly the opposite. When you start building your house, you want things like whatever materials you use there, like glass, windows, doors, wood, electrical system, to be as cheap as possible, and cheaper with every year, not more expensive. So you can actually rebuild your house much easier with every year. And that, it's a huge advantage. I would say that we don't pursue that road for whatever reason. it is what it is. Well, let's go in the, oh, that's nice. That's really nice. Although they don't have that much space between them. Also, we have good neighbors. That's a, ooh, everybody say like, okay, family don't have a choice with neighbors. You can kind of choice, but not exactly that much. I have no idea what those flags doing here. Wow, they really have a few flags here. But if you have a good relationship with your neighbors, I can assure you that your life, it's already 50%, at least 50% better. Just like that. So it's a huge requirement. Let's say when you get like the neighborhood, you need to kind of like the neighbors too. And I know that's not easy, but it's way better, way better. Let's move on the coastline because, like I said, we don't living. We are not in a landlocked state, so we have the opportunity to explore the coastline. And I want to start here. I'm not a big fan of those. Look at they're allowing them to build out close to the ocean. It should be able to build from this line. I mean, like this and these ones have like a really huge, nice buffer zone. But in some areas, we find that we see that they have it here, not so much. And this is it's East Coast. They have hurricane here, so I guess. I mean, on the TV, they show that like it's the end of the world every time they go in a hurricane here, but it seems like those houses doing pretty well. I mean, this is what, September 2025, then it seems to be like those houses that are here for a while. But can you imagine a hurricane here? It's just gonna pretty much fuck them up immediately. But same time, just like maybe they are built better, and it's just really old ones that they get blow out. I don't know. I'm not living in this North Carolina, but it seems like those guys, they're building way too close, and those are rich people. I mean, look at those guys. Just everyone has a pool pretty much, so not exactly a low income or a medium income neighborhoods. Maybe they, what the fuck is going on here? Well, they have so many cars and all black, for God's sake. Or dark color. Okay, not all black, but dark color. That's insane. It feels like most of those houses kind of are here. Most of the houses, a few of them probably, they're for rentals, which is another problem that I have. But in the same time, they are all rich people houses, 100%. I mean, like we've seen from the satellite images, they have pools, and judging by the way they look, not every single one of them, but most of them, this is clearly has to be rental. There is no way that many people can live in this house and have that many cars on the driveway. This just looks horrible. I mean, look at how bad it looks, and have like 25 miles per hour speed limit. That's insane. And it's a big house. It's gotta be from rental. I mean, like we can see that, yeah, it's gotta be from rental. There is no way. There's no, I think like most of them, they are from rental. When I see those huge pile of cars, and kind of have different number plates, I'm not seeing them because they blur it, but it seems like the background is different. So I'm assuming they're from different states. Yeah, it is bad with the rent. Yeah, it's 100%. They're rental properties, and they make them to make money. I mean, it's kind of a blur line. Allow something like this. I get it. You want to go in a nice vacation, you want to rent a house. That's nice too. But in the same time, it feels like it shouldn't be that many, and definitely should not be that close to the coastline, for God's sake. But I guess one of those developers came here and say, well, we're going to build all of those, and guess what you're going to do with them? You're going to rent them, and you're going to make your money back in like 5-10 years, and you're going to be very happy. But I guess there are a lot of people that would like to live in one of those houses. And if you live in a world that we fix the housing market, maybe this one is gonna be, it's not gonna be such a big problems to me, big problem. But when you have it like big problems that we have pretty much the rest of the world, and including in the United States, it feels a bit unfair to have that many houses, and just for people that, by the way, they already have the people who own those. Hopefully, it's not a company. But let's assuming that individual people own those houses. Even the company is pretty much the same story. They already have a house where they live, and you rent it as a luxury object to someone that wants to stay there for a weekend or whatever. And there are other people that they don't afford, so a house. So it should be ideally, it would be like you will have your second house or a third house, whatever, when pretty much you fix the housing crisis. That's a bit unfair too. I would say, yeah. But I don't know. It's a bit too much to have that many rentals, luxury rentals, and also that many that cannot afford a house, and those are really nice houses. I mean, like this, a house like this should be cheap with a pool and everything. And like I said, they're all from rentals, 100%. It should be cheap to build. Okay, not that big. This is insane. I get it. They're making from rentals. They're like some sort of a hotel or motel or whatever you want to call it. Those are huge amount. There's no way a family should live in a place like that. I mean, like how big your family has to be, like 10 kids or whatever. But not a fan, I have to say. It's a bit too much, I would say. It's nice to go in a weekend here. I'm not gonna say that no. But I think we have bigger problems than that. And they're kind of jamming everyone together. I mean, like clearly this is gonna stay forever for renting in a way, because there's no way someone's gonna buy a house to live in a family that big and that close to each other and not that much green and that close to the ocean, which they should never be allowed to build them like that in the first place. This one it's a bit better, but probably those one cost even more money. Not a big fan. Not a big fan, I have to say. Wow, see, they have the farming land here. Let's check those ones. You have farming land there, then you have the a few kilometers away the luxury area, let's call it like that. I don't know, this is me. Maybe it's not exactly fair to everyone. It's 15 miles an hour speed limit. Get the fuck out of here. This is at least a 50 miles an hour limit. It's way too low. It does feel bad. It does feel bad to me when I see those. I mean, look at this. And they're way too close to the ocean. How the fuck they allow them to build that close? That's also insane. Here they have a bit more privacy. So those could be actually residential housing, or no, maybe that's still from renting here too. I mean, again, it's nice once you fix everything, you have those properties that actually exclusive for renting, then I'm okay with that. Not that close to the ocean, but I'm okay with that. When everybody can afford a nice house with a nice land, you have your cars, not that many problems in the world, that's fine, you know. But we still have a lot of problems, and it doesn't feel exactly fair to allow, first of all, that close to the ocean. That's the main problem. And second of all, that many, because those are not coming cheap. 100%. I'm not sure exactly how much they're gonna tax you on one of those cars in a weekend. I mean, like if I want to rent it from Friday to Sunday, for example, a house like this in the May or June or whatever, probably they're gonna ask for $10,000 at least. I assuming for a huge house like 10 bedrooms or something like that. Of course, you're gonna have like 10 friends that come to you. It's gonna be a chaos, but doesn't matter. The cost is gonna be spread. But and it's gonna make a lot of money. I mean, I can make like, even if you rent it from Friday to Sunday every weekend or every other weekend, whatever, you still make a lot of money. I mean, can you imagine building a house like that for $500,000 and you make like $500,000 in 2-3 years clean? You pay for the house in the first 3 years, which is pretty much a brand new house, and for the rest of the time, then you just rent it and keep almost all the money. Yeah, have some taxes on all of that, but still, you break even after 3, even 5 years. Still a really good investment. And then you can sell the house if you don't like it, or if the market goes slow, but I highly doubt that. Yeah, it's just, I mean, a house like this probably is gonna ask you for 5,000, I will assuming, but the huge one that we see earlier are probably like for 10,000. And again, if you, it depends how much you spend when you build a house like this. I mean, it's pretty big, those ones. Look at them, and look at the nice glass here that they have. Yeah, depends a lot. Depends a lot how much you pay. I don't think they're gonna pay $1 million for that. That's insane to build one of those things. But this market, God knows. Yeah, it's a lot of problems. This one, the renting properties, I'm not that interesting. I'm more like in the residential area. Then I can see actually how people are living there. But seems like most of them they are from renting. In the same time, they kind of see the taste of the money, as you can see, agnostic cottage. They in North Carolina, at least so far as we can see on the coastline, they kind of smell the money, and everyone kind of build one of those houses for renting, not exactly for living in them. From what I can see so far, probably here in the second plan, it's gonna be more of the residential area, but yeah, even those could be for rent. And this one have like a brand new ones. This is what, February 2024. I'm not sure exactly. Maybe they fixed them after a hurricane. I don't know what's going on in here, but it seems like a lot of those guys have some construction work here to do. I heard that it's very bad, very hard to find a good construction those days, which is bad. That's why I'm kind of advocated, you know, to building your own house. Legislation allows that, and materials and the way we build now, so it can be like much easier for everyone to build their own house, be much better. But I don't know. We will see that with time. That's gonna play, in my opinion, I think like a huge role of going down those prices if you can actually build your own house and not allow it, not rely it on someone else. Wow, this one looks absolutely horrible. Not a goddamn tree here. Okay, a few of them, but not that much. Those could be residential houses, judging by the boats. And probably they build them upwards because they have a flood or something like that. There's the water just come and go. I assuming that. I don't know. Seems like everyone kind of have the same, not everyone, but most of them. And they're part of the cars under the house, which is pretty interesting. Seems like that, and have those companies here that they keep moving around. Probably those are the one that maintaining those rentals. I don't know. Could be, could be. So they drag a lot of revenue here from especially the state from these rentals. 100% they're gonna charge you some money because you own and rent one of those, which is insane. But yeah, look at this, looking pretty good. A bit too close to each other. I mean, can you imagine have like those rental and everyone having sex here in those rooms and make a lot of noise? And it's gonna be a contest there, right there, 100%. Weird, but that's the way it works here. They build it way too close to each other, and not exactly that appealing in my opinion. They don't have that much. This is December, so it's still pretty good for December. They don't have much green here. Ooh, a lot. There is a lot going on in here for sure. On the coastline, yeah, I don't think we can see that many residential area here. More in depth, it's a bit better, but you can see, look at the houses here. One of those small, this looks like a container's house neighborhood. Doesn't look that great. Let's move on to those actual real houses. Okay, this one still on the small side, but pretty good. They have boats here, boat here, and a car, SUV. SUV or a truck? What is that? I think it's an SUV. Yeah, it's an SUV. Clearly, not all of them they're doing that well, and this is again Oak Harbor, probably one of those gated communities. Not exactly a gate there, but kind of like one. Houses are very nice, very cozy, as you can see from the outside, but I'm not sure exactly how big they are on the inside comparing with those that they have on the coastline for renting. This one could be for renting too. Probably they ask you lower price because it's the second, not that close to the beach. But they build way too close. I mean, like, ooh. I mean, look at this, for example. Let me check this this beach real quick, and then I'm gonna show you something. Oh, that's pretty nice. It's a wide, nice beach. Pretty good, pretty good. But look at this. They clearly didn't allow them to build here that close to the ocean, so those one are not allowed to build. But who knows? Legislation can change every moment, and they can allow it, and they're gonna just pushing more, and it's gonna arrive here, which is gonna be horrible to live there. But again, it is what it is. Let's check those new neighborhoods here. This is clearly a more residential area than a more renting area, and this is a much newer one. This is December 2024. And they're looking pretty good. I like those pine trees here. Looking very nice. A bit more on the level, on the road level would be nice. But they're looking very nice in this area. I mean, look at these roads. Absolutely brand new. Houses, not so bad actually. The only problem that I have, they're way too close to each other, but it's one of those new neighborhoods. I mean, like by European standards, they're pretty nice in here. By the American ones, I think they kind of see that a bit jamming together everyone and not exactly that appealing, but for this area, probably something normal and they accept that. But not exactly on my taste, I have to say. I mean, from the satellite images from the above, as you can see, they are really close to each other. From the ground level, still pretty close. I mean, yeah, it's way too close. Can you have like a like a window there and just stay door to door, window to window of your neighbor. It's way too close. Not a big fan of that. Let's move more into the a regular area, let's call it like that. This one clearly a low income area, judging by the houses at least, and also by the cars, the expensive cars. um, yeah, same problem, I would say, a bit too close to each other, but not that. It's better than we see in the last one, in the new one. It's better than we see it. So that's pretty decent. But some areas, yeah, a bit too close than I would like to see. And we have people on the street, that's pretty nice. I mean, not so bad, but let's check this Square Street neighborhood here. Classic American one. Oh, that's a really nice church, I think it is. Yeah, it's not a house. These are red. 20 miles per hour speed limit. What the fuck? Should be at least 35 here. Bars on the doors. Maybe it's one of those design one, but still I don't like it. Open 2 doors to enter my house. Wow, that's a nice porch, a decent garden. I'm not sure exactly about this waterfall here, but it just doesn't make that much sense. Seems like a lot of crap in one area. Here it feels like a bit too empty. I need more trees there. Yeah, not extremely appealing there, but you know, it's an area to live. It's North Carolina. It's not that far away from the coastline, so I guess they can go there pretty much every day if they want to, or at least once a week. So not a big problem. And probably it's cheaper to live in there 100% than on the coastline. This one, ooh, look at those nice pine trees here, how nice it looks. I mean, we stay so much, pretty decent time in the United States, and yeah, anyone who watched other videos on this channel and that see that those Asian countries or African countries, way too different, and even by the European countries, they're way too different too. So I don't think that we're gonna see very soon in Europe something like this. It's just, like I said in other videos, it's gonna be decades and decades, not centuries, to even remotely having new towns built like this, because the existence one cannot be converted to something like that. In my opinion, it's just gonna be extremely hard. It's a culture. When it's culture, it takes generations. Right there. Talk about culture, it's generations. Not sure exactly how well those migrants adapt here, but probably it's much easier to adapt when you already have this one. But I see some videos on YouTube that they shows they kind of don't give a fuck about the building code in when they came here and they build all those some monstrosities and they jamming again kind of everyone together. We will see how that plays in the end, but ooh, that's interesting. Have the railway that close to your backyard. That's actually nice. I mean, yeah, if it doesn't use more often, this train line, so you can use it like once a week or once a month, that's pretty nice to have that. Otherwise, if it's every day, it's kind of fucked up. To have like the train goes to your backyard. It is something. It is something, that's for sure. But yeah, overall, pretty good. I mean, North Carolina is not so bad. It's not so bad. Let's check this one. Yeah, overall, it seems like, I mean, like, oof. Let me show you something. I mean, look at this. Every single of those points, it's a house. And when you zoom out, zoom out, zoom out, you can realize there are pretty much houses everywhere in the state. You know, there are a few exceptions, like they have like the mountains here, even though they have a few quarries here, a few houses here, not quarries. Yeah, people live here very remotely. But most of them, you can see, it's covered by housing. There is a lot of housing. And those are for, keep in mind, those houses are for let's say 11 million people, and divided that in half, let's say you have like a bit more than 5 million houses, and North Carolina is a pretty huge state, and this is how 5 million houses looking spreading around, and it's kind of insane how much space, in my opinion, takes and how much we still need to overcome this problem. So when you look at this scale like right now, and yeah, you have like materials problem, you have like legislation problem, you have like constructions problem, all of that. It feels like we kind of doing pretty good in a way. The only problem, like I said, if they stop migration, even if we in Europe, and I say we stop migration, we will fix this problem much faster, especially for the Americans, for the Europeans, than if we keep allowing more people, and the construction cannot keep the pace, obviously. But yeah, you can see even in this chaotic situation, we still kind of doing pretty okay. When you see the dimensions, how much space needs to build a house, materials and time, that should be reduced. All of those should be extremely cheap, easy to put together, and require, let's say, less high skill labor, less workers to do that much faster and much easier and cheaper. And once this is up, at least the interiors and the plumbing, even electricity, I'm not sure exactly how easy they can do that, but at least make it easier in days. So it don't take like a week to make the electricity. You make like 2 or 3 days, and you need like 2 guys or something like that. So you can actually have the guy, just one guy that comes, and with that you drag down the cost. And those people that they have much better things, they say much better things to do, they will pay higher price because they don't help the guy, obviously, in building their own house. But in those regards that we have like using the owners as a second guy to help you making the plumbing, making the electric system, the price for you should be going down, obviously, and much faster to finish all those. That, I think, that efficiency we should go to. You can install yourself your windows, you can install, like I say, the interior to make it, to actually drag the cost down as much as possible and have cheaper materials so we can actually fix this problem once for all. And those who say that I don't want to do it, it's not my thing, they would have a higher price because they have to hire someone else to do their job instead of they doing it. You can see big mind logic here. A lot of people, they can do those things, and also having like they build quite a lot here. Having like a decent footprint of the house, in my opinion, and build it easy to maintain and easy to repair. I mean, like, I'm not a big fan of those 2-story house. I feel like a house on the one level is much better and much easier and much faster to build and easier in the same time. And have a house that you're already thinking in the future, like it's gonna last for at least 100 years. With very little maintenance, and that maintenance is going to be made by you. Wow, that's interesting, having that glass there. And in the same time, you have like a house for a family. I mean, like, you have like a house for 2 kids and 2 adults, so it'll be like 4-person, and you are in that range of 200 to 300 square meters, and you start from the beginning using the money that it's cheaper now to build, let's say, to make it more efficient and off the grid, pretty much have like your own electricity, your own even water, or like that, to reduce the cost even on the city, so they don't tax you more, and you have all of those reliable and self-produce. Yeah, sewage and that you still need it, but it's gonna be a much lower cost. Then we talk about the street poles and lights and all of that. That, I think, it's a really good idea to pursue, to drag those costs down. I think is really good. But we will see how that is gonna be. But I genuinely think like helping building your own house, the structure at least. I mean, if you can have like you put the concrete down and then you have some guys, you help them too if you can. If you don't, fine. But you have like 4 crew guys, let's say more than 4 crew, to build the house itself, and then you help the guy with the plumbing. We have the guy. It's one guy who does the plumbing, and with your help, and maybe your kid or whatever it is, that can help them. So you can have like one guy, very skilled, and the cost obviously is gonna go down because you help a lot, and you don't need to hire other to do the same, to do the job. And you can put the plumbing in the house in 3 days. You can make the electricity system in 3 days. You can build the structure of the house and the roof in like 15 days maybe with 4 guys, maybe 30 days at the most. So you can have like a finished, fully functioning house in 2-3 months in the first stage, and maybe in the second stage after we improve even more these materials and how we put them together. You build one house as an individual in one month from zero to total finish, especially with the interiors and everything. That would be a really good improvement, I would say, and use as less people as possible for one house to build. In this order, you can build a lot more, much faster, much quicker, much more efficient. And you have like not those monstrosity houses that they have like 1,000 square meters or whatever. They have like 10,000 square feet, which is insane. Have something like I say, you think of that for the family. Like have like for 4 people, I need the house, and that's it. In this, like having 2 kids, you stabilize the population. In the same time, you don't grow insanely, so you can actually you prevent again a crisis in the market. Which, like I say, it's kind of a human-made. You can trust also the people itself, but you don't give them the argument at least, oh, so many people, we can afford it. All of that. Recycle all of those old houses that they get demolished. That would be pretty good too. Cheap furniture, easy to buy, easy to install, all of that. It will improve a lot. But I don't know. This is how come we do it here in my country. So it kind of keeps the cost under control, but even here sometimes it spikes out of the control. So yeah, we will see how that is gonna be. Wow, those cars didn't see a cleaning for a long time. They're looking pretty good. This nice neighborhood there. I don't know how much you can see in North Carolina. Overall, we go everywhere we go, it's pretty nice. Yeah, we have some low income areas, but not something extreme, I would say. I'm not sure exactly why they put this water hydrant here right in the middle of this guy yard, but fine. This is what, March, so the grass is not exactly greener. May, huge improvement. Some bowls here. A bit more trees from this guy would be nice if they have. It's gonna improve a bit more the aesthetic of the neighborhood, but overall it's pretty good. Yeah, a bit closer to each other. Some houses, we see much worse, so not exactly that much we can complain. This house pretty nice. I mean, overall it's not a bad neighborhood to live for sure. We see way worse. Unfortunately, for some reason, Americans have a lot of cars. A lot of cars that they keep them in the front of their property, which I don't like. That we talked about. And here we have the rich people, as you can see from the houses from above, and the yards and the privacy and the pools. You can even see this guy's house, for God's sake. I mean, you can just barely see him here a bit. Have to go here to see them. But this is absolutely monstrosity of the house. This is no. I mean, someone who wants to build something like that, yeah, should be paying much more for the construction. That's insane. Not in taxes or anything like that, but yeah, that's insane. This one is much better. I mean, like, that's pretty nice. And you have a nice house built by your own specification. And cannot get better than that, to be honest. In the nice length that you want, that's absolutely great. And with the privacy also, you know, look at this. The house is pretty nice. Yeah, it's 2-story. Not a big fan of those, but it's nice. It's not something, it's pretty big, but not outrageous like the last one that we saw. This one is better. And it's more important, yeah, to start with a good land in a good area. And then, I mean, look at these guys. Nice. See, the grass doesn't go on the trees, but in some area they do. Maybe here they just don't like it. But looking very nice in this one. I mean, look at this. That's a really nice house to live here, to stay here, to enjoy. Not that many on the street. I mean, I don't see kids playing on the street like we used to do when I was young, but no, maybe one of those modern things now. Who knows? But yeah, having those trees here in this neighborhood, I mean, look how nice it looks. And a lot of space between the neighbors. Like I say, it's important to have that space between them, that privacy. It is important. And the cars should stay behind the house again. Doesn't look that appealing. I mean, most of the people, they keep it, so that guy probably it's just visiting. It looks nice. Yeah, This is how everyone should look like in a should live like in a Western world. This should be the model to follow. And we should start building new neighborhoods exactly like this, and built by individual people, not by companies. That they came here, they built like 20 houses, almost pretty much the same with such a poor quality, and then just try to sell it for the highest price possible, because those people don't care if the materials getting cheaper or labor getting cheaper. They're gonna cash the differences in profit. So you cannot rely on those people to actually get a good price and a good quality house. So I'm not a big fan of those guys either. So individual people should build, not buy their own house. It's gonna be a much better progress, I would say. And this one, it looks a bit like a monstrosity house, but we seem worse so now. Yeah, but a nice land, nice area to live, great roads. We don't see cables. 25 miles an hour is way too low. It should be at least 50 here. Nice houses there. You can see like after, I don't know, behind any trees, you can find a nice house with good privacy and quiet place to live. That's really nice, that I like. And that should be the model. This one should be this one should be allowed. A model like this, you can see even from above, if you have even more trees from the satellites, you don't even know that's a neighborhood there. I mean, look at this. Even in 3D mode, you can see that they have some houses there, but nothing like the new neighborhoods that they build. I mean, like the differences between, look at this, how nice this one it is, and these new open ones that you can clearly see from the satellites, and look how sterile they look. It's just, yeah, the houses are pretty nice, and probably the inside looks even better, but it's not the same, is it? It's not the same. And although it's not that bad, not sure exactly this guy is doing, probably cleaning the car. I highly doubt that it's repairing something on that Audi. Highly doubt that. But yeah, it's decent, but it's far away that how it's supposed to be. That's what I'm trying to say here. It's not so bad. It's way better than the rest of the world, but comparing with what they could have if they wasn't that greedy, that constructor that built this one, you could have something that you can cherish for generations. We don't even talk about for the rest of your life. We're talking about generation now. A land that will stay with the family. And that's something that should we think next. Something that's gonna last for generation. We don't even think like we should buy something or build something that's gonna last for the rest of our lives. We should be past that. We should be like, we build something that's gonna last for generations. This one is one of those high income neighborhood, but you can see very bad pole lights, very bad privacy, which I'm not sure exactly who's gonna buy those things. I mean, look at this, a garage in the house, an insane amount of cars. So this is for construction, okay, so I don't have a problem with that. But look at this, if you need that many people to build one of those houses, the price is gonna be higher, because how many people you have to hire. I mean, like I see like 4 guys on the roof already. God knows how many in the house. So that comes with the house too, how you build. If you build in a way that requires less labor and less materials, you can have a cheaper price. If you build like individual, like I said, if you use if you use like a company to build the entire neighborhood pretty much, and you buy the house, not build it yourself, yeah, the differences is gonna be cashed in the constructions, in the landowner of the construction, let's call it like that, in his pocket is gonna go. So yeah, not a good idea to make everything cheaper and then rely on someone else to build a neighborhood of houses and sell it. It's not gonna drive the cost down, in my opinion. So yeah, that was North Carolina. Looks pretty nice, I have to say. Overall, nothing to complain. Yeah, some low income area that doesn't look so great, but overall North Carolina is pretty nice. Some issue that I take with those coast houses that they are using for rental, and they have their purpose. No, nothing to say against that, but a bit too close to the ocean and a bit, I would say, too many, and God knows how much they charge for one of those. So not huge fan. Not a huge fan, I would say. At least not so far. Some of them, they have a purpose 100%, but I don't know. I don't know. It feels like not exactly the right time for those. So yeah, that was North Carolina. If you're living in this place, leave a comment and you see this video, and check the reviews that I make. And overall, yeah, it's pretty nice. I like it. Pretty huge state, as you can see by the dimension. It's not exactly a small one too. And for 11 million people living in a place like that, and you can see how many, everywhere you go, look at this. Houses, 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 houses. 5 million of them at least, probably around 5 million, maybe even lower than that, I don't know. And you can see wherever you go, you have houses. It just gives you the scale that how much, you know, you construct. And I know those construction now, they're using like Hispanic labor or whatever to keep the cost down, but there should be a combination in legislation, materials, and also the owner of the house, that how decided to build to minimize the cost and the time also, and the labor, the man labor, how many they need to build a house, because you can reduce all of those. You can build much more, much faster, much more efficient, much more cheaper. And that should be a road that everyone should pursue. Not buying exactly, not using the constructor for everything in the house, just using for those construction, the structure one that you cannot use with a construction, roof, and interiors to some level, and then you build your interior, you make your own interior. For those people who wants to have like a low cost of the house, but you make your own house with the constructions, not waiting for a company to buy the entire land and then build all those individual houses and then try to negotiate some good price. I know it's more convenient, more simple like that, but it's gonna cost you more. You're not gonna get exactly what you want because you're not designing the house how you want it. And overall, for me, it's a bad package. It's just why? I mean, I can wait like 2-3 months to build a house exactly how I want it, when I want it, with the design that I want it in the yard also. Position the house how I want it, and then make the house exactly how I want it, interiors how I want it, and in all this process, having for a cheaper price, it's worth it. I think it's really worth it. But we need to, like I say, mainly the legislation has to change, and then find a good construction that understand those things, and having lower prices and faster. I mean, like for a guy that have a crew, let's say of 4 people, including him. Building a house from 0 to 100% for their 100%, or not the house, 100% for their job requirement in less than 30 days, and pay, let's say, I don't know, let's say you pay them $5,000 each. It's like $20,000, and if they do that job even faster, again, you don't go for the electricity and plumbing. Maybe they can finish that in 2 weeks, and they have like $10,000 per person every month. That's gonna drag your cost much lower, and then you go for materials, then you go for your own labor, and all of that, and you can actually pull a house for $100,000, and maybe you are lucky enough to have a household income of $100,000, so you can have like 1 year's salaries. You can have your own house. That would be that would fix a lot. That will fix a lot. So yeah, those are just numbers, obviously. But it's nice to have like some numbers that we can try to achieve them, even though you may fall short of them. It's still much better than paying like $500,000 for a house, which is insane. So yeah, you should use the labor, specialized labor, when you need it, and only then. And in this case, not waiting for building the whole house. You have all the materials. The crew came on the site. If they're a really good one, they're doing pretty well. Like 4 people, they can build a 200 square meters house in 15 days, and they move out to the next project. They get like 10,000 each, and then you can have like a really low tax incomes, so you don't pay that much either. They pay like 10%. They can go home with like 9,000 per month. And prices on anything else falls down also. That's a pretty good income. I mean, like, you can go like over $100,000 per year, and everything's getting cheaper. So it would feel like $250,000 per year in this market. it's pretty good. But again, those are just numbers. We're gonna see how those end up. But it's a theory. It's a plan. I would say a blueprint that maybe we should pursue more. So yeah, that was the video in North Carolina. Check the videos that I make, and see you next time.